as you know, episode 3, Get Started with Verty. All right, so I have someone that's been like, this has been a complete shift from when I first met this guy. All right, so when I first met him at the gym. He was getting a good workout in. I said, hey, bro, let me get in with you. And it really just started from there. It was a real organic, relationship. And, I took my expertise as far as group training and group fitness. And a lot of the things that I learned from him. And this guy is an NPC, classic physique, 2-time world champion. So that just lets you know how serious he takes it and exactly where he is and where he's going. Even beyond that, he's a powerlifting champ too. So with that being said, I'm gonna get right into it. This is my boy D'Angelo Brackeen. What it do, my G?
Oh man, what's going on, LV?
Man, it's going, man. It's flowing and going, man. How was the commute, man?
It wasn't bad, typical Texas. 183 coming here.
Yeah.
It wasn't nothing crazy.
Yeah. Where are you located?
I'm out in the HEB area, so North Richland Hills. Yeah.
Nice. It's nice out there.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's just chill.
Chill.
Yeah.
Chill is good. Nothing wrong with
can't
chill.
be out here too much, man.
For sure. All right, so yeah, man, I just want to go back, just hop in the time machine real quick, bruh. Met you at Fitness Connection in Arlington, Texas.
Right.
Yeah, man. Like I said, organic relationship. Everything was cool. You put me on some workouts that were crazy effective. Honestly, you got me back in the squats. I wasn't doing bar squats to save my life.
I remember that. Yeah.
And ultimately, you got me to understand that my positioning was really wrong. So that's why it was so uncomfortable. And, it just takes little tweaks like that, to just to go to another level. And overall, I see my quads are developing.
Right.
Just from the small critiques that you gave me. And I just been able to apply that to give that to everyone else that I come across. But yeah, man. That was a time, man.
It was 2021.
2021, right. That's crazy. All right, so from that moment to now, what got you inspired and what got you started and where did the motivation come from as far as wanting to get into the classic physique bodybuilding type? What bred that? Where did that come from?
Man, so as you knew, I was just trying to do powerlifting.
Right.
I was doing my own program, off the app. Yeah. And I was just like, hey, LV, just check my form. I just need somebody to motivate me, you know what I'm saying? And you was one of the ones that just kind of kept me going,
for sure.
Before I even got into everything else.
Yeah.
But crazy enough, I didn't even want to do bodybuilding.
What?
Yeah, so
I would have never guessed that.
Right. So here's the backstory. So when I got introduced to my coach, it's you can kind of look at someone and be like, hey, I know what this kid is worth before he even knows. It was that type of situation.
Yeah.
And he looked at me, he was like, I train people to do both. And I was like, both of what? And I was like, I'm just here for powerlifting, And he was like, I'm gonna get you ready, but just know, you're gonna step on that stage. And I was like, okay. In my mind, I'm in the back of my mind, but it's here we are, 3 years later, about to, go to try to get our pro card here in 2025. And it's I never even would have even thought that it would be possible, not just without him, but without, God and stuff like that too. So,
Bruh, that put a smile on my face even hearing that, bro. So where did you meet Coach? Where did you meet him?
So shout out to my boy Kyle Patterson. He was actually the manager at Fitness Connection at the time. Yeah, and so one of the girls that worked there introduced me to him.
Yeah,
and then he put me on game. He was like, "Yeah, I go to the gym called Stroud's Fitness in Hearst. Shout out to the fam." And he went there and he was like, you meet me there, you start working out with me. I was like, cool. It was like, you know, he used to go at 5 a.m. I was like, I guess I'll try to swing it to make it up here with this guy, man.
I like the 5 a.m.ers, bro.
I didn't make it too long, but you know, I got in where I fit in, you know. And
He said he didn't make it too long.
found my own schedule, but it got to the point where I was like, I got to move closer, you know, or like I'm willing to make this drive because I was still in Arlington, so I was driving 30 minutes and then driving back to Arlington to like go to work and stuff. Like that's how committed I was at the time.
Yeah.
So like, you know, hour commute and it ended up paying off. So what I ended up doing was I got transferred so I could be closer to the gym, which was like 10 minutes because like I really want to start taking this more serious. And that way I can get more time in, just be there more.
Yeah.
And then, you know, just start perfecting my craft.
Bro, you dropped the gym. You dropped the gym. I don't even think you know it. You were willing to give up where you were to transition closer to be able to hit the goals and to create that lifestyle for yourself.
Right.
Bro, that's fire. That said a lot. That just tells, that says a lot about dedication and you really going for what it is that you want. There's no excuses. Mm-hmm. There's no excuses, bro. Yeah, that's wild, bro. You actually, so you dropped everything in Arlington. You transferred to the HEB area just to be closer to the gym.
Yeah.
That's dope.
Yeah, so I mean, I was working at Dick's Sporting Goods at the time, so I just transferred. And it's funny enough because an opportunity came up to where it was like it kind of worked out that way. So like I didn't even know like how close Hearst was or the Dick's Sporting Goods location was like to the gym until I got there. And so I was like, oh, I can make this. Like I can swing this.
Oh, man, the Most High blessed you, bro.
Yeah, man.
Or you walked right into that one, bro.
It's funny how it all worked out, man.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I was literally down the street. You know, I was still driving from Arlington because, I mean, I was still working at that Hearst location, but I was closest to the gym, so I could just go across the street, you know, whether it's before or after work.
Dope.
And get it in.
Dope. All right, so as far as your training for the, okay, so as far as powerlifting, I know you come from a powerlifting background, right?
Right, yeah.
Okay, so how does that differ between the powerlifting training and getting ready for a show, bodybuilding? Like, what's the difference in the training
And just
like
what
does that
exercise
look like?
selection or?
Yeah, like as far as the lifestyle.
Well, one thing I'm appreciative is like, you know, my coach, he trains, like when I say like he trains us for both, like a lot of people think there's like a huge difference, which I mean, depending on like how far you take it, there can be.
Yeah.
But he trains us to where it's like, you know, it's the same. The only thing that may change is like the diet. You know, obviously there's tweaks that you make with bodybuilding when you're in prep that, you know, obviously so you can like save your joints and, you know, just be more comfortable where you are.
Yeah.
But it's still intense all the way around. So like a lot of the time it will be the same. We're just manipulating how we eat things.
Right. So basically, Coach, what's his name again?
Coach Kelvin Tatum.
Coach Kelvin Tatum. What's up, Coach? I need to come holler at you. All right. So Coach Tatum. All right. So basically with his training style, so basically it's like a hybrid training to where he's actually, it's kind of both in one.
You can do it all, man. Yeah, it's
that's
a lot of volume. I mean, it's not for the weak. I'm not even gonna sit here and act like, you know, it's not like one of those things. It's, you know, you come in, you put in the work, and if you really want it, you'll do it. You'll see results, but you know, it gets hard.
For sure. Yeah. Okay, so what does what is a typical day in life like? What does a typical training routine look like for you?
Just like at the gym.
Yeah, let's say as far as a weekly workout schedule.
Okay.
What does that look like for you?
So I was going 7 days a week. And now
Robot.
And that was just because I really like, you know, I was just dedicated. I really wanted it. But then I started, you know, we started to value the idea of rest, right? And so
that's very important.
I go
right?
6 and I have like a day off.
Okay.
So I'll throw different body parts on different days to, you know, acclimate for that.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, a typical week, I mean, you know, Mondays, Fridays is legs. And then Tuesday, Saturdays, chest. Wednesdays is usually arms, but I split it up. And then Thursdays and Sundays is back and shoulders.
Okay, so the arm day where you split it up. So you're saying you do a bicep one time and then tricep?
So I'll do like triceps on chest and then biceps on back and shoulders.
Yeah, I got you. That makes all the sense in the world. Yeah, I got you. Because from what you taught me, when you work in chest, it makes more sense to work tris, right?
Typically, I mean, you can switch it up, but it's all, preference.
Okay, it makes sense. Okay, so it's preference. Cool.
Just what works best for you.
Right. Because not everyone's the same. It's not a one size fits all, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, that makes all the sense in the world. Okay, and as far as diet, I know diet has to be absolute hell when it comes to prepping.
Yeah,
man, give me a breakdown on what that is, what that looks like, bro. Because I'm like, yo, I know for you guys to be as cut and as lean as you are, I know you have to be crazy dehydrated. Mm-hmm. I'm just going off of hypothetics. So I'm thinking that you have to be crazy dehydrated, and I'm sure most people out there think you're probably just eating rabbit food all day. Nah. So yeah, let's crush the myth busters. So like, what does that look like as far as prepping for a show?
So lucky enough, so like I've been blessed with some great genetics, and I've learned that like going into it. So like my very first prep I did, I mean obviously it was the worst one I think, and not everyone's like this, but like for me it was the worst one.
What made it the worst one?
Simply just because your body's not used to being like drawn down that far.
Was it more mental, or was it?
It was both, like mental, physical. Like my body kind of went into shock a little bit, which caused me to. I didn't get like sick, but it kind of gave off as if I was sick.
Yeah.
And so like obviously it's just my body trying to adjust because I've never been that lean.
Yeah.
Like being lean and being like lean is two different things. Like stage
lean
lean.
and lean.
Stage lean, yeah, it's different. It's different.
Yeah.
But as far as like, I mean, how it looks, so say you typically, you do everything in like moderation. So it'd be like so like you have your rice, and this is all, like I said, subjective because with bodybuilding, every, food, it could go either way.
Okay, got you.
So like what may work for me may not work for you.
Right.
But what he gave me was, you could do like rice, ground chicken, or mostly ground chicken because you want to, stay filled out for the most part. Yeah. And then as you get closer, you just start to dial things down to where you have to like manipulate it to like to where you can peak at your best. And that's usually what we call like peak week. And so that's when you're peaking your body to be optimally like to look its best. And there's a science behind it for sure. Yeah. But it's also one of those things you don't want to overthink either because you can go into it and really just mess up the whole peak, So you want it to where it lines up right where you look your best on show day.
Nice. So as far as, so how many shows have you done so far?
I've done 4. So I've done 1 bodybuilding show each year, and I did 2 for the first time back to back this year.
Okay. And how many did you come out with the win?
So bodybuilding, it was rough. So I got 5th my first one, and I was like, I did true novice, so starting out. And then my second one, I did novice, and I got 2nd. And then this year, I got 4th, and then 2 weeks later, I got 1st.
Bruh. So you walked in the door, kicked in 5th place. But that says a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I hold myself to a pretty high standard. So, like, yeah, I mean, I was mad, but
I mean, who's happy about 5th
but
place?
I had to develop that mindset just to be more grateful because like you're doing something that a lot of people don't do.
Right. Somebody got last.
It's a 1% sport, so I had to sit back and be like, okay, well, I'm grateful, to at least have I've obtained 5th, like I'm top 5. So it's like, hey, that, like you said, that does say a lot.
That says a lot.
And as I've gotten, further in my career, I've just kind of developed that more and more and more, just to be more grateful for where I'm at and just enjoy the journey for sure.
Nice. Bruh. I'm taking all of this in. I'm gonna go back and clip this thing up and be like, I'm doing this, and I'm telling you, it goes down on Get Sturdy with Verty, bro. You're getting real game here. And then on top of that, so what do you think? What are the biggest challenges you believe that you faced as far as when it comes to bodybuilding? What was the biggest challenge?
Just dealing with life, honestly. I mean, the training, I'm not gonna say the training's easy, but like that is easy compared to how you balance life with it. And then when you're on the diet, and dealing with everything that's coming your way, whether it's like, like car breaking down or whatever, just like different things,
Yeah.
Like for example, like my first prep, I had a 2011 Volkswagen Jetta.
Yeah.
And my key got like it broke off in the ignition, so I couldn't drive my car. And keep in mind, I was still working at Hearst but living in Arlington, so like I couldn't drive to work. Had to let my manager know, like, hey, I can't come to work. And then on top of that, this is Wednesday, a peak week, so it's like my water's dropping down. I'm at like 32 ounces for the day, so it's just like it ain't looking too good for your boy, man. And so it's just like knowing how to, like, if you can deal with life while you're in that state of, practically surviving, and you can practically do anything when you're out of it. And that's one thing I learned. It's like,
Okay. So you believe that bodybuilding, and as far as, so ultimately you believe that builds mental fortitude.
Oh, for sure.
That's tough.
Fortitude, discipline,
That's
the
tough.
whole nine, strength.
Yeah. I always told myself I wanted to do at least one show. I at least want to do one. I don't care if I win or lose.
You should,
I just want to do it just to say I did it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like just to go through Hell's Kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And just to come out on the other side, pressure makes diamonds, and I want to see what kind of diamond I could be myself.
Yeah.
So yeah, bro, I mean, I hand clap you from that, bro, and me just seeing the journey, bro, it's been beautiful. And now let's segue away from the bodybuilding and let's slide into the powerlifting.
Okay.
Bruh, I saw you won bench press. So you're the bench press champ, right?
So we do 2 different federations. I mean, there's like
Okay.
a ton of them out there, but the ones we do are there's one called NASA. So it's like Natural Association of Strength Athletes.
Okay.
So it's just like, pretty much all natural athletes go there.
Right.
And then one is called Wobble. So it's just a push pull. So it's bench and deadlifts only.
Got you.
And so we do that. We do a qualifier as well. And then we do worlds, which is what you probably referring to as far as like a 2-time world champion. Yeah.
My boy said 2-time world champion.
Blessing to say that, man.
Man say. And what I can say, it always amazed me of how strong you were.
Right.
Bro, when we worked out together, bro, and we were doing bench together, bro. And mind you, I probably outweighed you by like 20 pounds.
There's some weight.
Bruh, you were outlifting me by like 40 pounds. Like, it was crazy. It was like, how the world is he lifting this? And you're like, well, it's all about the technique. And you're pushing with the lats. I'm like, man, I'm over here amazed. Like, how the world is this boy moving his weight like this? Bro, you getting up under there moving that thing. I'm like, God, dog. Bro, it was just crazy. And just seeing you win that really it just really shows the strength that you really have. Do you think it's strength or is it technique?
I mean, technique is kind of like the cherry on top. Like, if you have all the strength in the world and the talent, and, the technique is like, okay, like what can we do to just finalize things and actually like nitpick and, make things better to where you can lift it in a better way. Right.
And so, and for the ones that don't know, for the audience that does not know, how much do you weigh right now?
Right now, I mean, I float around 169, 170 in the morning.
And how much did you bench press?
At the most recent worlds, I did 325.
Y'all heard that? Did you just hear what this man said? 169, 170 as far as weight, and this guy bench press 325 pounds. Yo, that's crazy. That is wild. Bruh, you strong as hell.
Oh, glory to God, man.
You strong as hell, bro. That's cold. Bruh, that says a lot, bruh. It says a lot. Bruh, that's tough. Okay, so as far as let's say goal setting, what works for you as far as your goal setting process? Because I know you have to have an accountability partner. So I know coach is on you like white on rice.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure he has to be.
Yeah.
Would you consider yourself easily coachable and self-motivated? Or do you feel like you need that gasoline, a lot of encouragement from coach, and you just need that fine-tooth comb? Do you need that? Or like what do you think?
So when I started out at first when I was with you, and getting used to everything, like that fire was high. I just wanted to prove, like, not just to others, but like to myself, like, okay, I can do this.
Right.
Because, I was telling you, like, my background, like, I wouldn't say no one believed in me, but like no one really took what I did serious.
Yeah.
And it's pretty common, especially with bodybuilding. Like, a lot of people don't look at it as a sport.
Yeah.
It's a very common thing now, but
yeah.
I would say it's a little bit of both. Like, it transitioned over the years. I had that drive. I was very self-motivated, which I still am now. It's just more like discipline. Right. But at first it was all motivation. But then one thing I realized is that when that motivation died down and I got around my team and, they were the ones that like, hey, like, we here. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
I didn't feel like coming to the gym, realistically, like, whether you're dealing with like heartbreak, whatever, you know what I'm saying?
Right,
you don't feel like being in that
when
thing.
you're dealing with life, right, right.
Like
emotions
life hitting you,
right.
like, you out of whack. And to have, great teammates such as mine come in there like, hey, bro, like, it's gonna be cool. Like, we gonna do this. Like, we still gonna lift this weight.
Right.
That means the world,
Right.
And that's family.
Right. So as you guys hear, audience, you hear that you have to have a strong circle around you that's going to keep you motivated, that's going to keep you in line. You have to have that.
Got to.
You have to have it. It's only so much you can do on your own. You have to have a circle of people that is going to push you in the right direction, and that is fire. Okay, so as far as let's say what was one of your most memorable moments as far as from when you started to right now? What's your most memorable moment where you can look back and be like, yo, man, that was fire?
Oh, man, that's a lot.
Come on, man, juice me up. Let's get it. Where we at?
Moments. Honestly, like, so I would say this year, so in August, me and one of my other teammates, Robin, we did a show together at the Johnny Jackson Classic. It was in August. That's when I got fourth. That show, for me, was probably the most memorable because it wasn't even really about me. It was about just seeing her, like, goals, like, come to life. And, like, for me, like, that really struck a nerve because it was like, man, like, I just know how hard she works. Yeah. And, like, it wasn't just me, like, my coach, too. It was just, like, we were, like, super emotional because it's like, man, like, she is just, like, a go-getter, bro. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Not to put too much, but, like, single mom, the whole thing. It's just, like, she goes and gets it.
That's tough. So there's no excuses,
no
bro.
excuses, bro. Like, so I look, honestly, like, she's one of the first people I looked at when I got to the team. It was like, I need to emulate, like, my discipline after her. You know what I'm saying? So that was probably the most like memorable one for sure. Like, outside of Worlds and everything like that, like, those are fun, just having the team there. But like, that one specifically, like, really got to me.
That is fire. So basically, you experienced that moment with her.
Right.
And you watching that process, knowing the background, knowing everything that's going on, and her crushing those goals was just like,
Like,
like earth shattering.
just seeing her like win the overall. It wasn't even like seeing her win. It was like, you know, she's winning in life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like that was like, I want to be like that for sure.
That's fire.
Yeah.
That's fire, bro. So for all my red pill guys out there, we're talking to a bodybuilder right now, a powerlifting champ right now that looked at a female counterpart and was highly motivated. So yeah, all my super high testosterone guys, tone it down. You can learn something. You can learn something from a female counterpart. Yeah, that's fire. That is fire. Okay. So how do you manage? I know you push a lot of weight, right?
Usually.
You push a lot of weight, you know. How do you manage and prevent injuries? Like, you know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, have you ever been injured lifting?
So the grace of God, actually one time, but it wasn't like a life or death injury. It was like I tweaked my back doing deadlifts, but that was just, you know, form was off. And I knew it as soon as I did it.
Yeah.
And so I had to take a couple of days, man.
I've done that twice.
I was still able to work
Oh
out.
my God, it was the worst thing ever.
Yeah, it was like that sciatic nerve on
My
my back.
God.
Yeah.
My God.
I couldn't really move, but I played it smart, you know.
Yeah.
Usually my recovery is very, you know, spot on as far as like what I take, what I do. I mean, Epsom salt baths, all the whole nine.
Whole nine.
Everything.
So your recovery management, your recovery routine, what does that look like?
So I usually do it based on either how hard I like or how sore I am.
Yeah.
It's just levels. So like I'm very like self-aware with like my body and I know it very well. So like I can kind of tell like what it needs. Like for example, if I have like a nagging like muscle and it may be stiff, like, okay, I know, you know, I'm going to treat it with like, obviously like, you know, a hot shower does wonders depending on, you know, how you go about it. But I do a hot shower and then once the muscle is tender, you know, I'll throw some, have you used like Tiger Balm before?
Tiger Balm, yes, sir.
I use Tiger Balm a lot of the time.
Back in my track days, bro, Tiger Balm and BioFreeze, those were my best friends.
Coach introduced me to BioFreeze, man. Yeah. Look, hey, you rub it or spray it or however you want to do it.
Clear your sinuses, boy.
Walking around smelling like a cinnamon stick.
If you can't breathe, put some Tiger Balm on.
Strong,
you'll be able
man.
to breathe. Yes, Lord.
Man, but it's like I would do that at night. And so while I'm sleeping, let that muscle heal. And might burn a little bit, but that's good. Because if it's not burning, then that means it's not as like sore as you think it is.
Right.
So I would do that, honestly, just for like prevention purposes. And I do that like almost every like other day. Just to make sure like I'm good.
Fire.
And then if I'm like super sore, like just whole body, obviously like Epsom salt baths are wonders as well. And then just getting body work done is something I've learned to do more of because I ain't gonna lie, I was neglecting it. I wouldn't say I was neglecting it. I just didn't understand the importance of it until I got to this level. So yeah, it's like you hear a lot of bodybuilders like, yeah, like get your body work done. And it's like, yeah. But like when you get it done, it's like, oh, I see why.
Okay,
you know?
so you say getting your body work done. What does that consist of?
So I mean, like, you know, not neurotherapy. Oh, Jesus. You know, it could be anything from like acupuncture to, neurotherapy, anything of that sort. Massages, deep tissue massages.
Yes, sir.
I mean, the whole nine, anything helps.
So, I had an injury. I want to say it had to be about 3 weeks ago. Bruh, slip and fall, bro. Chasing my dog around the house.
The simple thing.
I was chasing my dog around the house, bro, and my son was mopping the kitchen floor. I didn't know. Man, I came around that corner, bro. Slipped, landed right on my rotator cuff. Shoulder was out of there, bro.
Yeah.
So come to find out, I misaligned my shoulder. I didn't think it was that bad after, your adrenaline's up. So I fell. Right. We all laughed. I got up thinking everything is cool.
Yeah.
Bro, a couple of hours went by, bro. I couldn't even raise my arm. I was like, God, dog, what did I do? Bro, come to find out, bro, my shoulder was in a lot worse shape than what I thought. And I went to go see a chiropractor for the first time. It was probably the best thing. And I thought about you when you told me that. You said, I remember you telling me to go see a chiropractor. You was
Bruh.
like night and day difference.
Get your adjustments, man.
I felt amazing. Dr. Corey Morning, appreciate you. Thank you so much. Yo, when I tell you she reset everything, bruh, she felt my shoulder, she moved it around. She said, oh yeah, I got you. Man, she popped that thing like 3 different ways. I was like, okay. After that, I was able to push, pull, pull up. Like, everything was back. And that made me think, like, maybe I should have been going to a chiropractor way before this.
Right.
Simply because it's putting on muscle and putting strain on the joints and things of that nature. Like you said, man, just having a routine and doing your body work. You know, I haven't tried acupuncture yet. How is that, by the way?
I just know it's an example. I haven't used it.
Have you tried the suction cups?
Like the cupping and stuff
Yeah, have you
like
tried
that?
cupping?
I plan on it sometime soon. I know
Okay.
some people that are getting into it. So
Yeah, they just
haven't
like they've
tried
been
it.
beat to death.
Yeah.
God, dog.
Walk around with like the whelps and
Man,
stuff.
I'm telling you, look like they was just standing on the side and people just had baseballs and they were just going at it. Bro, it was like
Yeah.
crazy. Like acupuncture, I mean not acupuncture, cupping, man. It looks like it looks painful, but I'm sure it's probably
I mean, I think everything's kind of like painful depending on like how tight you are.
Yeah.
You know, and like even with deep tissue, like, you know, we got some people at the gym that do it. Like, you know, I got Justin.
deep tissue hurts so bad, but it feels so
Look,
good.
he'll get in certain areas and like he'll just be using a thumb. And it kind of feels like like somebody's like scraping you, you know?
Yeah.
But he's just getting in that muscle, you
Yeah.
know, and it's just. But once you're done, it's like okay, like I feel
Right.
great, but you kind of have to go through it a little bit, you know.
Right. So at this point in time, are you still training? Do you still train, or are you just tunnel vision on bodybuilding and powerlifting?
Like training clients and stuff.
Do you still have clients?
So no, I actually just like ended up getting a new job.
Yeah.
So I don't have any clients right now.
Right.
I'll probably get into it more like later down the line.
Gotcha.
But, yeah. So I got into a whole different industry, man.
Nice. Okay. So with that being said, you're not against having clients, right?
No, I mean they teach you a lot as well.
Right.
You know, and they definitely help you learn what you don't know, or
Yeah.
even, you know, just kind of like reassure like what you do know.
Yeah, I heard that he trains too. He's not against it. Just letting y'all know.
Certified.
Just letting y'all know he's certified. I'm telling you. All right. So what advice would you give anyone that is starting their bodybuilding journey?
Well, I have a couple of things. So one, just make sure that you just really want it. And mentally, I would say, I mean, there's going to be things you're going to learn along the journey, but starting out, like, just have that drive, you know, put the work in early. And then the biggest thing is finding a great coach. Because, I mean, without that, it's a night and day difference of how someone can come out, you know, like you can go to bodybuilding shows. I mean, you'll see, and this isn't like a knock to anybody, but like, you know, different coaches have different ways of training.
Yeah.
And to make someone look different, you know. So, but like I said, it could be a night and day difference depending on who you have and who can tailor towards your body the best, you know. So have a great coach. I mean, it should be more than just like, you know, coaching, but like someone who's actually gonna like be there, who actually cares for your well-being.
Nice. Okay, so another question. How do you feel about people that actually use the PEDs, performance enhancement drugs? What's your take on those, and how do you feel about that whole realm of nat daddies, as they call them, the guys that are natty, you know, with all the acne and because it's to me it's so easy and obvious to point them out, you know. But however, I don't talk down on them because I'm I can't talk down on anything that I have no knowledge of. You get what I'm saying? But how do you feel about that as far as being in the realm that you're in, being on the natural side?
So it's one of those things where, you know, with the sport, you kind of just have to accept like what you're around.
Yeah.
Right. Like, you know, and especially like it's like a natural like bodybuilder, it's like you have to really like know. I mean, like you said, like you have to be able to like point certain things out.
Yeah.
But also just be aware, right? Like, you know, if you're around people, it's really easy to get sucked into.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like there are times where I feel like it could be necessary depending on like what level you're at. Because I mean, realistically, it's like even if you go pro naturally,
Right. It's only so big you can get, right?
Right. I mean, there's some people that are like crazy genetically, like big, natural,
Right.
and like I give them the props, you know. But it's just to have like certain muscle like formulation. I mean, you're probably gonna need some type of PED to like achieve what it is that they're like going after.
Right.
You know, or to achieve like a certain level of conditioning. Like there's only so much cardio food that can like give you that like super hard like grainy look.
Gotcha.
Like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I just say take it with
hella vascular, yeah.
Right. Take it with a grain of salt. You know, if you do get into PEDs, be safe. Actually get with someone who knows what they're talking about.
Right.
And like they're gonna give you all the protocols to like do things right. There's a lot of people that just kind of like blast stuff and they don't know what they're doing and they mess themselves up. So just be knowledgeable, you know, be able to listen, and just go from there.
Right. And I know on your journey, I know the journey has not been easy.
No.
And I know it has been a huge lifestyle change, right? So with that being said, I'm sure the circle of people that you surround yourself around and the circle of people that were there in the beginning, I'm sure a lot of those people, have you lost a lot of friends on this road?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. And that's not, you know, nothing funny, but it's like
no shade, but
no, it's just kind of what comes with it. I mean,
yeah.
Bodybuilding is a selfish sport, you know, and you kind of have to find that moderation of like being able to like talk about yourself all the time and like in your journey without making it seem like you're just completely conceited, you know?
Yeah.
Like there's a point of, okay, how hard can I work or how far can I go with this sport without like obviously like just kicking people to the curb.
Yeah.
You know, naturally people will fall off just because, you know, whether they don't like support you or, you know, and that's just like something you kind of have to just accept, right? But what I have learned is that, and that, like I said, that comes with people just not really knowing like what it all entails to be like an actual like bodybuilder.
Yeah.
But then when they see, or like you may post something that may resonate with them, like, oh, like I never even knew like you went through this much. Then they kind of, you know, lean or jump back on board, which I've had a couple times as well.
Yeah.
You know, people are like, I never really knew. So I just got disinterested. But then when you explain like your journey and transformation,
yeah,
then I was like, oh, like this guy went through a lot, you know?
Right.
And so it's not something you can just like explain like every single day. But like when you post your results, it's like, it's all worth it. So yeah, I mean, you lose people.
Yeah.
And that's just with anything, not just bodybuilding. I mean,
Right.
if you're tailored and focused on something, you know, it just naturally, not everyone's going to be on board with what you do.
That's true.
So you kind of just have to accept it.
Understood. So as far as what you're doing now and being being hyper focused, and hella goal oriented, do you have time for a girlfriend? Do you have time for a woman? Are you single? What does that look like?
It's one of those things where you kind of like, if you really want that, you have to make it, but you also have to allow it to become without it being like forced. And I think that's just anybody.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to want to force anything, you know, but yeah, I mean, I would say I do. It's just a matter of like, am I willing to make that happen or allow that to be in my life, depending on like my schedule. Which I mean, I'll say I would, but it's just I think it's just a matter of time. I'm not really like the type to rush things. Not anymore.
Do you right. Yeah. We've all been there outside.
Right.
Do you feel like right now a woman would be a distraction? Or do you feel like do you think that with you it really wouldn't necessarily be a distraction? You would be able to, you would know how to stay focused in within the whole realm of, getting everything done when it needs to be done.
I would say she can be a distraction more easily with the sport I'm in if she's not like supportive, or she doesn't understand.
Right.
And that's like one of the biggest things. Like you see a lot of like bodybuilders who are single. A lot of them are like great relationships, but typically it's with people who are like either in the same field
realm,
or they understand like what it is that's going on, and they're like they have the patience to like withhold that, like knowing that okay, like what's gonna come of it.
Yeah.
So it could go both ways. I mean, I've had distractions, but that was just they weren't for
That's
me.
life.
So but I know that person when they do come, they'll be there. Like,
right.
And it won't be a distraction. They'll just fit right in.
It'll be organic. Right. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure, man, sometimes it is tough because I know those testosterone levels are, I know those things are high.
Yeah.
My goodness, bro. I know those testosterone levels have to be high, especially with all the squats and deadlifting. Yo. Through the roof. I'm already, in my mind, I'm already thinking like, yo, I bet it's crazy on that end. So how do you track? How do you track your how do you track your progress, or does coach do that for you?
As far as like weight gain, things like that.
As far as let's say, for instance, whatever the goal is, let's say that there was a certain weight or a certain look you were going for in a certain amount of time. Who tracks that for you? Is it coach? Does he have like a planner, or do you just pretty much just have all the information yourself and you just keep note of that yourself?
I usually track a lot of it. Crazy enough, like I remember a lot of stuff I do, which is like very odd. But
this guy's a robot.
I don't know. Me and numbers get along. But or I'll just write it down.
Yeah.
So I'll usually write it down. I have a journal, which coach put me on as well, like document everything. It's different when you're seeing like what you've done, because then it's like, oh, I have to hold myself accountable, so you can kind of push yourself. And then, you write down like what you ate that day, depending on like how much you lifted. So like kind of correlates. So that way it's like, okay, if I eat this again, like will I get the same result? If not,
so every workout, do you journal everything as far as the whole process, as far as you working out and what you're eating? Do you journal everything?
I do. So most of it would be like free weights.
Free weights.
I don't really do cables, just simply because cables are used for different things. So like the weight, I wouldn't say it doesn't matter, but it's just not as necessary, in my opinion.
Yeah.
To track like the weight I'm using on cables, because it could vary. But free weights, I do like bench press, like dumbbell rows, whatever. I think it's more of a correlation with that I'll track it.
Have you ever had a moment to where you felt like there was a plateau?
Oh yeah.
How did you overcome that?
So you backtrack. You look and see like, okay, like I was saying, like what was I eating? What was I eating this day? How much water intake did I have? Was everything spot on?
Yeah.
For me, it goes down to like, did I even take my vitamins? Like to feel my very best. Like, did I do everything? Did I take everything I was supposed to? Was I on supplements? Was I on no supplements? I just look at all the factors. Was I on creatine? No creatine, etc. So I look at everything. So whatever usually gives me the best results, I'm like, okay, I'll stick with that, and then go from there.
That's dope. Okay. All right. So another question. If there was just a random person and they said and they just walked up on you, because I'm sure, do you ever have random people just walking up to you and just asking, are you on steroids?
Yeah, all the time.
Why is that? They just look at a guy with muscles on. You on steroids, bro? What you take it? So like what do they like? Like how do you combat that? What do you say?
Man, it's every situation's different. I mean, some people are just like, they're genuinely just curious, and you can't. I mean, sometimes they can't help it. It's just, I mean, sometimes they'll say it without saying it. They're like, "Oh, bro, like you look crazy, like vascular, this and that." Like you kind of insinuate, like, just go ahead and ask, like, bro.
Right? Just,
but I mean, you just treat them the same way you treat it, with kindness. Obviously, you let them know if you are or not. But I usually tell them no, like, because I'm not. And so it's just as simple as that.
Right.
I don't ever like go into detail, because then they're like, oh, like, they'll ask more questions, try to, like, how people like try to insinuate stuff, and it's just like, it's just not necessary.
So do you work out? So as far as working out, do you strictly work out at your personal gym where you train, or do you still bounce around at the
different like commercial gyms?
Yeah, different commercial gyms. Do you still go to commercial gyms, or are you just in a?
I do. I mean, if I have like a free day, like where coach is out of town or something, like like I'll slide to a different gym or whatever. Yeah. But usually I'm at the home gym. I mean, it's just, I would say where I'm comfortable, but it's uncomfortable. Yeah. A lot of times when we're training, it's just where I'm at. And believe it or not, like, I have like not really bad anxiety, but like I have pretty good anxiety when it comes to like going to different gyms, which is why I don't usually like the like super big gyms. Yeah. Like, no shade to like Absolute or anything like that, but that's just like the first one that comes to mind.
Right.
They just built that new location in Fort Worth, and it looks like super big, and I'm just like, I'm looking at them like, I'm good. I'm gonna stay in my little bubble over here. Man. I just like the smaller family environments.
Right.
So,
so do you So as far as in this whole process, as far as the bodybuilding, do you have any role models? Is there anyone that you just look at and be like, I want to emulate that. I want that. I want to idolize that. Is there anyone that you key in on?
So with that, I don't really roll or want to like emulate anyone's like physique per se, because everyone's built different.
Right.
It's more about mindset for me. So like the biggest person that comes to mind for me is like Phil Heath. I love his mindset, like just his willingness to like to be a champion, like just to not really make excuses, which is, I mean, obviously it's a lot of bodybuilders, but like it's his conviction behind it. Obviously like you got 7 standouts, like what can you really say to that? Guys like that, Dorian, who just like, bro, they just get in and get after it. You know? Like they don't really care like what people think. It's just ruthless, rugged, just get in the gym and work.
Yeah.
And I kind of had to develop that mentality like with Dorian. I don't know if you ever seen like those videos where like his gym that he had, it didn't really have like any mirrors. It was just kind of like a cave almost. Yeah. Like I kind of
like a hyperbolic time chamber.
Yeah, it was just like,
DBZ reference for all my anime heads. DBZ reference.
But it was just like what symbolized for me was like, sometimes you have to go into that dark place to really get the results that you want.
You versus you, right?
And it's like, it's not like to be like anything like demonic and nothing like that, but it's just more like you're looking at yourself in the mirror or like the water, however you want to put it, and it's like, are you willing to like do whatever it takes to like be the best person that you can be?
Right.
And like I said, you have to go to a deep place to find that out, and that's just self-reflection.
True story.
And that's with anything, like you said. I mean, athletes, entrepreneurs, whatever. It's like you kind of have to dig deep to become something. I think Phil Heath said, you want to do something you've never done, if you want to be someone you've never become, you have to do something you've never done.
True story.
And that's always stuck with me. Like, okay, like, what can I do that I've never done before to push me to that next level?
Right.
Mentally, job, gym, whatever.
So is that a quote that really sticks with you?
Kind of live by that,
That's fire.
Like, even with the new job, like I do like roofing contract,
Yeah.
So it's like, never would have thought I'd be here. I feel like God led me into this position.
Yeah.
But it's like, I prayed for growth, and it's like, this job's gonna allow me to really grow. It's definitely not my comfort zone, but I'm doing it because it's like, okay.
But see, one thing about praying for something that people, that I think it went over my head for a while until my aunt, she said something that was so profound to me. She said a lot of times people pray for things and then they forget that God doesn't give you exactly God, whatever you want to call it. God doesn't give you exactly what it is that you prayed for.
Right.
So if you pray for strength, do you think God is just going to make you strong, or do you think God is going to put an obstacle to make you stronger?
It's going to give you an opportunity.
You get what I'm saying? And when she said that, I was like, oh, that was like a wow moment for me. Like, that was deep. That was really deep. So when people pray to be humble and all of these things, okay.
You get situations,
You're going to get put in a situation
You're gonna get
that's
tested.
going to humble you. That's going to happen. So, yeah, that's dope. And one quote that sticks with me is that the only permanent thing in life is change. And when you think about it, that's probably the most true thing in the world to me. Nothing in this world is permanent, not even this building we're in. One day, this building will probably be a grain of salt. One day, the city of Dallas will be a lake.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So change is the only thing that is permanent. Nothing else in the world is once I really sit and think about it. But let me get out of my philosophical.
Nah, brother, I'm listening to you.
Because man, like, yeah. But just to jump back on let's jump back on board. What are some misconceptions that you think people have about bodybuilding, and how do you address those?
That everyone's just like a bunch of conceited like meatheads that like don't really care about others, and it's like, bro, like, we're people too.
Right.
We're not all like, just like jacked up, juiced to the gills.
Yeah.
Like, we're humans. We're still humans.
Right.
Like, we're normal. A lot of us, and it's like, to get this preconceived notion that like, oh, like, to assume that like, oh, everyone's doing this just because of like bodybuilding umbrella. It's kind of like, just kind of just shows like, okay, you don't really know too much, which is okay. But it just happens.
Which is okay. Yeah,
it
just
happens.
True.
So it's like, what I kind of thought about it is like, okay, are you going to be the person to inform them so that they can know? So that's kind of the take I put on it. Like, okay, well, out of love, like, let me teach you. Like, let me show you, like, this is not what it is.
Yeah. Man, one thing that I do know, I'm going to have to slide out there to, where'd you say the gym was, in Hurst?
Hurst, Texas. Yeah, Stroud's Fitness.
Yeah, I'm going to have to pull up Stroud's Fitness in Hurst, Texas.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to have to make sure I pull up.
Come by, man.
For sure. And get my swole on.
Yeah, bring the lady too, man.
Bring her out there because, you know what I'm saying, swole it up real good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Come on, man.
Man. And with that being said, man, great conversation, great dialogue. And, man, this will not be the last.
Oh, nah.
And I'm sure this win you got will not be the last.
Nope.
And with that being said, if you don't do nothing else, get sturdy, baby.